Hi, I'm Laura and welcome to the channel. Well, today we're going to be talking about something that's either a recent phenomena or it's been there for a long time and finally women are willing to talk about it. And that's mean girls. And where have they all come from? It seems like there's either more of them out there or we're just a lot more aware of who they are. Well, this is Smart Women, Smart Conversation, a place where we stop a couple times a week and talk about the issues that affect women as we get a little bit older and a lot wiser. And I know we've had a lot of new subscribers that are pre-50, even pre-40. And what I hope you'll gather here from not just my comments, but also from the comments left by members of the community, I hope you'll learn not necessarily to do things the way we did them, but maybe glean a little bit of knowledge to help you do things a little differently or not to make some of the mistakes that we made. Well, okay. Mean girls have been around as long as time. I actually wrote a book called Where the Mean Girls Go. Why? Because what I realized is the behavior starts on the playground when we're little. Girls want to be part of a clique. We want to belong. We want to be included. We want to be invited. And how do you do that? Well, you look for the little girl on the playground who everyone seems to always be rotating around. And that's when you start to learn about what you are told are the popular girls and the unpopular girls. Well, I've shared before, I was always the girl on the outside wishing to be in. Once in a while, I got my toe in the circle and got an invitation to a birthday party or a sleepover. But for most of my life, I was watching and trying to figure out how did they attract so many girls. Well, as I've grown up and gone through my professional career, my political career, my philanthropic career, and growing my family business, what I've learned is that they are masters at cheerleading, but they are not leaders. And I don't want to disparage cheerleaders. I honestly wish my whole life that I was a cheerleader. I tried out twice. It was a disaster. But what I mean by that is that personality, that outgoing, someone who just throws it out there and people respond. They're the social gatherers. They bring everyone together. They always seem to be willing to be the organizer of events, to take on the projects. And they work their way into every organization. And it can be your professional career, it can be philanthropic work that you do, but they find a way to maneuver. And let me also say, it doesn't matter what age you are. I've heard from plenty of women that are in their later years and spend a lot of their social time at senior centers or rec centers, and there are still mean girls there. Where do the mean girls go? Well, they grow up and they become the women that we serve with in the PTO, the women that we work for, the women we work with, and sometimes the women that our boys bring home. So it's really important to understand who these women are and what is the attraction. And maybe by having that conversation, we can share with our daughters, share with the younger women in our life, share with our own friends that, hey, we don't want to be part of that, and be willing to look for the red flags. So as I said, they come in with a bang. I've noticed in my own community, sometimes they're women that are new to town, that right away join all the organizations, move their way up, and they're very strategic. I give them that. They're willing to take on those lower volunteer positions, get their hands dirty, but they have a goal. And you can watch from afar and see them working, I call it finagling, their way up through whatever ladder they're trying to conquer. My girlfriend and I were talking last night and we were saying, what is it about them because they have all this charisma, they have this drive, they have this magnetism that obviously people find interesting. People want to be around them. And I don't want to say that they attract a lot of friends. It seems like it from the outside looking in. But my friend and I are old enough to know that they're not really looking for friends. And I don't know if the women that surround them are looking at them as being a friend. Maybe they're looking at them as a way of climbing the ladder. Again, whether it's your professional ladder, whether it's a philanthropic ladder, whether it's a social organization. I had a woman call me, 8 months ago. And she was very upset because she had started an organization, philanthropic organization, that had gone on to be incredibly successful. And a new gal came in, and the new gal, one by one, started befriending the members of the organization outside of organizational meetings. And when they had a meeting with the whole group, this new gal would kind of drop, oh, well, hey, when I was out to coffee with so-and-so, we talked about this. I was on the phone with so-and-so, and she and I came up with this great idea. And what she did is she made everyone who wasn't part of the conversation feel like they had been excluded, like something had happened and they weren't part of it. Maybe they weren't good enough or neat enough or cool enough to be part of the conversation. When you're on the outside looking in, and especially if you were lucky enough as a young girl to not be one of the popular girls, you learn the hard way, but it's a good life lesson because you can watch these women and you know what they're up to. We see them on social media. They're usually very angry, very mean, and very loud, and they surround themselves. I heard somebody one time call it flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. But they surround themselves with women who are willing to fly out and attack. And there's some kind of a private club they feel like they're a member of, like they're in on something that no one else is in on. And I do think that social media has empowered a lot of these women. And other women are stepping back and going, well, wait a second. Why are you targeting me out of the clear blue sky? Because that's what they tend to do. Because if you're in their way, if you have the job they want, if you have the position they want, if you have the leadership position that they want, they plan, they bide their time, they co-op the people around you. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily friends that are around you. It could be colleagues, it could be acquaintances, it could be other people you volunteer with, but they have a method to their madness, and they're willing to take their time to get where they want to be. And sometimes, unfortunately, you're where they want to be. I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know if it's envy. I'm not so, stuck on myself to think anyone's ever been jealous of me. But when you work really hard to get somewhere and someone comes for you once you get there, you've built the infrastructure, you've put together a social group, you've started something new, and someone comes for that organization, they are in fact coming for you. So I guess you can look at it any way that you want to. So we had a long talk last night about it, and I think what we decided was women are we've finally found our voice. Even those of us that maybe don't necessarily go out there on social media and don't challenge people and don't question people. We take what happens to us and, we lick our wounds and we go home and figure we'll do it better the next time. But now we are starting to talk about it. We don't want to be around those kinds of women. We don't want to get entangled in that kind of drama. And so we are stepping back and saying, that isn't healthy, it isn't kind, it isn't decent, but these women have intention. So how do we steer clear of them, and how do we develop our own groups of women that are doing things that we enjoy doing, trying new things, getting together, just like my girlfriend last night, just sitting back and having a glass of wine and chatting without this stress of what group are you in, who likes you, who doesn't like you. And that's the other thing I'll end with this. The other thing that bothers me so much about Mean Girls is they want some women, the women that follow them, the women that adore them, the women that like them, the women that like their stuff on Facebook, that give them all the heart emojis, they want those women to be seen as the in group. And they want you to be seen as being on the outside, looking in. Well, I've been that way for a long time, so it works for me. But I think it's time that we start talking about it, because women have to do better by each other, don't we? At the end of the day, it's really about a legacy, I guess. I like that word. Well, thanks for stopping by the channel. I appreciate it so much. I'd love to hear what you think about the topic. We'll be talking more about it because friendship, connections, relationships are truly important to women, and we need each other. We need each other as colleagues, we need each other as mentors, and we also need to mentor the other younger women that we have in our circles. Take care. Thanks again. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time.